Welcome to PC Woods Kids Tech Talk. Today I want to review the NZXT 02 full tower case. This one is in black. It has these nice blue LEDs at the front. This one side panel has no openings. The other side panel has the option for 4 120mm fans. Now if you install those 4 fans, of course you're going to be able to keep multiple GPUs cooler, for example, if you have multiple video cards happening. Now let's take a look at the front again. At the bottom here you've got that blue LED, and you can see the power button there right on top of it. And then you've got this huge plastic door here, the opening, which actually latches on with magnets, so it's pretty sturdy. You can't really open it accidentally. Now if we open this up, you can see the optical drive bays here, and also you've got the 3.5-inch drives as well. Here's another close-up for you. And you can see there to the right, there's the reset button. Okay, so now when it comes to the power button here on the bottom left side, that one actually has a little light in the background, the blue LED again, so you can see where it is. And then there's also the blue LED in the center of that door. Okay, so you've got the light there as well. Okay, now going back to the side panel, I always look for ease of use when you open up a panel. For example, if you wanted to access installing these 4 optional fans, you want to be able to take it out easily. So luckily we've got thumb screws here, so toolless design again. We don't need to get our screwdriver out for this one. And if I just flip this over here, you'll be able to see the grate that and the holes there, so you can install your 120mm fans. Now this is a toolless design. Also for the drives, so you can see here where the drives would be going in, your internal drives. The board itself, the tray, does not come out, but there's lots of space to maneuver in here. Okay, so let's take a closer look, starting from this angle over here. You can see here at the top, that's where your power supply actually goes instead of it going at the bottom. Okay, at the bottom you've got an optional 80mm fan and your 7 expansion slots, but the power supply is actually going to be at the top instead of the bottom in this case. Now you've got also the 2 dual exhaust fans, and there's the opening on top of it for the power supply, and then you've got another optional 80mm fan that you can install there at the top. So on the bottom and the top you can install those. Here's the 6 internal 3.5 drive bays that I was telling you about with the toolless rail design. So these rails come with the case, of course, so you can quickly snap those onto the side and slide it into place. And then if you want to take it out, you just loosen up those clips and it slides right back out. Very easy, very quick, and like I said, it's a toolless design. Here's another look on the inside of the 5.25 optical bays, so you can see what that looks like. Okay, that gives you a good idea. And then at the top there is the 80mm optional fan that you can install. Now looking at this from the rear of the case, you've got the 7 expansion slots and your I/O port hole there for the motherboard, and then the dual exhaust with a nice black finish on that grate, right, that protects against the fan. And then of course there's your power supply opening at the top. Okay. Now moving on then, here's the look again at the back of the case. And then now we're going to take a quick look at the case from the top. So on the top of the case we've got the NZXT logo, and then we've got the top mounted ports for your E-SATA. Then you've got your mic and your speakers and 2 USBs. Okay, so you've got the necessary connections, and just above that is the exhaust fan there, the 80mm optional fan that you can install. Taking out the front, the bezels there for the 3.5s is quite easy. You just hold the sides and snaps out. Same thing for the 5.25s. Those plastic plates just come out pretty easily and then snap nice and tight into place right there. Okay, so if we take out the whole front bezel, you'll see that the intake fan has a dust cover. So there's a dust cover there on the front, just like we saw earlier at the inside of the case had a dust cover at the bottom. And here is that sturdy 1mm thick case, and you can see this plate here that comes out so you can slide in your optical drive. And if we open up the other side of the case, the other panel, you can see that there's an opening for some cable management. Not much, because you can see that the motherboard tray itself is fixed into place, and there's not that many large openings for your power supply cables, for example, if you have those coming through. Now the other thing is there's no hole in that tray, so you can replace easily a CPU cooler. But anyhow, here's what comes with the case, the manuals, of course, and the different sizes of the rails for the toolless design, so you can install all your different drives. So it has all the rails you'll ever need to install all the drives in every size. Okay, and there they are. And of course, you would get screws for mounting the motherboard onto the tray, and some twist ties, of course, so you have the necessities there, and you don't have to get your own. Okay, so that comes with it there. So there's the package, okay, for the NZXT02. And if you're looking for a sturdy, strong steel case with lots of options for installing fans, and you don't mind the plastic front bezel door, then this is not a bad case for you, right? And I'll definitely recommend that for you if that's something that you're looking for the price point. So I'd like to thank NZXT for providing me this, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching.